Cody Rhodes, I want your mind. I want your soul. If your answer is no, the dream dies again.
I gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago. Hey, Rock, go f*** yourself. Kidding me? This is absolutely ridiculous.
Cody could have had it all. It was his John Cena with no
soul. One of the greatest heel turns in the history of the business. And we saw it on Saturday night. And tonight, we take a step forward. What's good, everybody? Welcome into The Last Word, your new favorite pro wrestling show immediately after Monday Night Raw, every single Monday right here on Stadium and all of their platforms. We are available, listen to this, in over 100 million homes, live on Amazon Prime Video, live on DirecTV, live on YouTube TV, Roku TV. The list goes on and on. Yeah. Oh, we saw that tonight. Goosebumps. And we've got to talk about it all over the course of the next hour. We got to go to promo school. We got to flip the script. We have the last word, but I cannot do this by myself. Shout out to producer man for the incredible cold open that he cut just now. Now, bring in my cohorts in crime. First and foremost, she is fired up tonight. The host of the Gabby AF podcast, but she's on our team every single week. Gabby, good evening. Are you in a good mood, my dear?
I was in a good mood, and then a couple hours went by, and now I'm not in the best mood, but we'll talk about it. We'll get to it. It's a roller coaster. Right.
It really is. Next, he spent 32 years inside of the WWE. Nobody has more knowledge about this company and this business than my man right there in the center. Please say hello to Big Tommy C, Tommy Carlucci. Good evening, sir.
What's happening, Coach? What's happening, Gabby? 32 years, and I'm still banging my head against the wall with what I saw on Saturday night. And the best part about it, we were doing it with the coach, and he was giving me the commentary. Unbelievable.
It was like old school, right? All right. We're gonna get to tonight in about 20 minutes. We're gonna be here full hour, but we've got to start and kind of tell the story as it goes because we've had 2 days to digest this, and we had a live watch along Saturday. Gabby, thank you for showing up.
Thanks
and
for
we
the
had
invite,
a great
by the way.
time.
I appreciate it.
What's that?
Thank you for the invite that I never got. I must have got lost in the email stratosphere.
Apparently, Tommy, we didn't advertise it forever. It said whoever wanted to come on. But anyway, I digress. But
I'm not doing this tonight. I'm already in a mood, Coach. I'm already in a mood.
All right.
Do not get me fired up.
We thought, because I know you are, we thought that it was either going to be CM Punk or Seth Rollins. But the way that this topic has taken over sports shows, the world, trending for not just a day, but 48 hours leading into tonight, is like something I've never seen before. I was in the building, Gabby, the last time The Rock rocked the house at Rogers Center, WrestleMania 18. I think last night was more shocking than what we saw that night with Hulk Hogan. What is your reaction 48 hours later, knowing we still have some stuff to talk about on Raw, but it set the stage for what could have been a really big night in Buffalo?
I mean, I absolutely loved it. I think it transcended sports. Like you said, it was talked about everywhere. I had friends texting me that I know don't even watch wrestling currently and are like, holy crap, did Cena really just turn heel? Like, I heard, is he bad now? Like, what's going on? And that's what they wanted to do, right? That's what you want. You want to hit the fans who kind of know what's going on and might not be in it anymore. So everything they did made what they wanted to happen. I say F Cena now. I'm already angry. You know Cody's my guy. F Cena, F Rock. I want to see them get their ass handed to them. And I want to see Cody beat Cena at WrestleMania. I don't want to see this title change, BS, whatever it is. I'm over it. And he deserves it. But it was beautiful. It was cinema. It was beautiful cinema.
It really was. And you got to have two guys, Tommy, that know timing, that know facials, that are good actors, because the way, and this is why you rehearsed during the afternoon, the way they shot it with Cena in the background going bananas, Cody saying, Rock, go F yourself. And then they give the bro hug, and then the face goes. And then the Rock gives the slit the throat thing. That was absolutely perfect. But I will say, the only thing that would have made it better is if we got a payoff tonight. No Rock, no Cena, no Cody, no bueno.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? You give us all this ammunition and you shoot this gun, and by the way, nobody better than Cena and Rock. Cena selling out the big time babyface, going crazy when he gives him the big FU, right? And then he shakes his hand and then gives the look was unbelievable. Those camera guys had to be dead nuts on this to cut through the camera too. Back to three, wherever they were going, they knew what Rock was going to do. It was perfect cinema, coach. And here's the thing: 500 million views, coach, since Saturday night. 500 million. Think of that. 500 million views. They were talking it on WFAM, sports radio here in New York. They talked about it in the mid show and they talked about it in the early morning show about Cena. Was this the greatest swerve of all time? The greatest heel turn of all time? I don't know if it's that, but when you got people talking about it on the radio like that, you know you did something big. But you're right, coach. The ball was dropped. No Cena, no Rock, no Cody.
The reason it was the greatest of all time, I've heard people talk about comparing it to NWO and Hulk Hogan, and that's probably closest comparison, Gabby, because Hogan during the 80s and the early 90s, he was the all-American guy. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers, the whole deal. John Cena was the modern day Hulk Hogan. I saw a parody account today, and I almost got bit by it because there's so many accounts out there that say, and I don't know if you guys saw this one, but they said that the WWE has filed to copyright Break a Wish. And it almost got me. But then I thought it's a great joke because we're talking about the two guys that have both broken the record at one point in their careers for the most wishes granted. And to think about the financial aspect of this, and Gabby, John Cena is going to lose millions of dollars. And TKO better be making it up on the back end because you saw now, what did you say? I hate John Cena. Literally overnight. You're not buying his hat. You're not buying his t-shirt. You're not buying the new whatever. And he was willing to sacrifice that for one last meaningful legacy run heading up to WrestleMania. And now it opens the door for a lot of things, but you got to have the guys in the building to take the step forward. And you can't rely on CM Punk, which we'll get to in about 9 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, this is if he's going to do it, this is the time. It's the last year, and it's going to be the final power punch to his face. Mm-hmm. Also, if you're talking parody accounts, I saw someone tweeting like, "Do we all see John Cena now?" And I literally popped so loud because I think that's the funniest thing ever. Like, okay, now we see you. Or they said like, because John Cena follows everyone on Twitter. Like, is he just going to unfollow everybody now? Like, it is funny, but also at the end of the day, like, you're so right about him deciding to do this now changes everything for him. But that's what it takes to make a statement. And I honestly think this was the only way to get this kind of investment with Cena leading into WrestleMania. And I don't think I'm in the majority of that. I am probably in the minority. But you have to understand this about me, Coach. I wasn't a fan of pro wrestling when it was Cena's time and he was this uber babyface. I didn't watch. So I'm watching now in this new era of pro wrestling where Cody's my babyface. And those are my people that I'm like, those are my number one always. I could never see the heel turn on him, which maybe will happen one day. And that would shock me the most in the world. But now it's easy for me to turn on Cena because I wasn't invested in him in all those years. So it's a little bit different for me.
No, and I think you bring up a good point because there's a lot of fans out there. He hasn't been that milquetoast baby face all the time since he started coming and going. Fans, for whatever reason, and this has always been crazy to me, they don't do it now with Roman Reigns, but he went through cancer. He got sick. He can't be out there every week. But during my first run, you didn't miss weeks. Top guys were there every single night. They were there every single house show, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. And now it's not that way. Now it's, Triple H is awesome. He's giving us time off. Fantastic. Give them time off in September, because now what's going to happen is you've got Raw going overseas after next Monday at Madison Square Garden. 3 straight weeks in Europe, Tommy. And John Cena has been confirmed for all 3 weeks because he's shooting his movie in Hungary. But do you think that missing that 1 week in New York City will really take away the punch that they could have had tonight and also next week?
Well, let me weigh this out, Coach. Madison Square Garden, the Mecca, the biggest arena around, the most known arena, or Belgium, where he's going to show up on March 17th. You tell me what kind of reaction he's going to get from a New York crowd or a Belgian crowd. He's going to hear if he was in New York, and everybody will love it. Here's the difference, Coach. Like Gabby said, she wasn't there for Cena. We were there for Cena, where the chairman would literally slam Cena down your throat. People were hating on Cena big time, but he stood with Cena as the ultimate babyface. He did everything, and they got grown to like John Cena. So we watched him grow. Now, he became a little heelish when he did the Thuganomics thing, but Hogan never was a heel. So that's the little bit of difference between Cena and Hogan. But man, the chairman wasn't giving up on Cena. He was the All American guy, and he was pushing him to the moon. And Lord knows he got pushed, right?
Oh, he got pushed, I mean, from the start. And guess who was at every single rap concert of his? Who was sitting in the car with him all the time? Your boy. It was me when he was telling Nikki. All right, never mind. I digress. But
well, that's
I,
why. Yeah, don't get me started on heel Cena and Total Divas. He was a huge heel. Like he was
really
so mean to her. Okay, so like I've seen I wasn't always the biggest Cena fan. Okay, I was Team Nikki Bella on that shit. So like I'm just saying. Sorry, I cursed. I know it's early in the night. I apologize, but I'm getting into it because it was his true colors was shown on Total Divas and Total Bellas and all that stuff. We should have known. Nikki Bella tried to tell us all along that he's really a heel at the end of the day, and I'm not shocked by it.
Well, there was and I won't get into all the details, but there was a time when him and I were traveling together, and he happened to go on Howard Stern's show, and he started to tell a story that I was involved in. And at that time, nobody cares about timing of anything. All they hear is that it happened. And he starts telling the story. I'm now engaged to be married at this time. And I remember driving down the road. I kid you not. My fiance, then future my wife, the mother of my 2 kids, is sitting in the car right next to me. And I'm listening to this. She's like, "Oh, this must be hilarious." I go, "Yeah, it's going to be great." And I'm like, if he uses any names, I'm dead meat. I'm absolutely dead meat. But that's who he was. He loved to tell the stories. He loved to be a part of it. And I have a great affection for Cena. And I know how hard that this truly was for him to do. But also as a former heel, guys, and some people laugh at it, but I did something that had never been done before. A regular announcer had never turned heel before, like I did, attacking Shane with the chair. It's the most fun you can ever have. I guarantee you, Cena and Rock on Saturday night, hearing 38,000 people just light them up was the greatest thing they ever could have felt, because this is Rock's idea. And don't think for a second that Hunter and Rock are sitting down together and working this thing out. That ain't happening. It is Rock, it is Brian Gerwitz, and he's running the show. And Triple H is just along for the ride, in my opinion. In my opinion. And we'll see moving forward how much, Rock's got the Scorsese movie coming up. But to me, this is the most important thing. And Gabby, got 20 seconds that Rock has ever done in the last 10 months or 10 years. And he's got to make this a priority. He can't just disappear now until WrestleMania.
Yeah, absolutely not. You started this, Rock, so you better finish it because you came back and nobody asked you to, and now you're starting all this bad stuff. You made it messy for Cody. You had to make it messy for everybody. So if you don't finish it, I'm going to hate you as much as I normally did, 3 times as much, which you don't want from me. So you better finish the story you started.
All right, the first word brought to you by WWE Shop. Get all of your favorite WWE merchandise right here through BTT Studios. All you got to do is scan the QR code that's on the screen the entire show and go get some of your new Cena merchandise. There's going to be a ton there. I think there'll be plenty for you to pick for. Just a hunt. Just a hunt. All right, we're just getting started here on the last word. On the other side, we got a little promo school, and Gabby has a promo for CM Punk. Also, at the bottom of the hour, how would we flip the script? Io Sky, your new women's champion? What are we doing? It's the last word. I love this stuff. Live on Stadium. All right, we continue on here on our YouTube page. And Tommy, you become a worldwide superstar. You really, really have. And I know you were recently on a big podcast. Can you please tell me all about it, sir?
Yes, it's Brian R. Solomon, who used to work for WWE and Digital. And by the way, he put you over big time. He said back in the day when they needed stories to tell or something quick, you were always there to help them cut a sound bite, write a paragraph for the magazine or anything. He simply loved you. And it's in the podcast I did. It's called Shut Up and Wrestle. Brian R. Solomon has a book called The Irresistible Force of Gorilla Monsoon. The Life and Times of Gorilla Monsoon is coming out in late September. As you know, I rode with Gorilla. I drove him around when he was the president, and my name is actually in the book. He interviewed me, and he said he's going to put it in there. So it's a really great podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple TV, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's called Shut Up and Wrestle with me and Brian Solomon.
I was unaware that they had podcasts on Apple Television. I can't wait to
I
watch.
said Apple TV? I'm sorry.
That's all right. Gabby, I know Gorilla Monsoon is a little bit before your time, but you talk about legendary in so many different ways. Gambler, poker player.
Oh.
I mean, he was literally the godfather of backstage. That's why it's called the gorilla position, where you get to come out.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Did you know that? That's
No.
why it's called the gorilla position?
I thought it was just big like a gorilla, and it's that.
Nope. He was big. He was big, but no, that was his spot. So when you come out, I always had my little spot that when I went out that I liked to touch on because it was so nerve-wracking. I remember, you know, when I got music, you got your first music, and all of a sudden it hits, and you're like, man, don't screw this up, because you don't want to walk back through that curtain having screwed something up. I promise you that. I promise you that. All right, Gabby, you fired up? We're at about 20 seconds.
I'm always
I know you. God, I love you so much.
You know this.
All right, when we come back, we've got promo school time. And also, we're going to promote a little something that Gabby does in her side hustle time, as we like to call it. All right, we're back live on Stadium in just 5 seconds. All right, welcome back, everybody. It's the last word on a Monday night. Our live audience is absolutely huge tonight. So thank you, wherever you're watching, on Stadium, on Amazon, on DirecTV, on social media, on our YouTube page. We don't care where you watch us. We just care that you watch us. Now, as always, Big Tommy C and Gabby is with us. And before we get to our next segment, I know, Gabby, that you had a big release of your latest podcast with one of the new stars of the new A&E show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, I sat down with the one and only Mickie James on my podcast, most recently, Gabby AF. And I did bring, because I'm so generous, a little clip of that for you guys. So let me just play that really quick, producer man.
Listen, I'm dying for you to be back in the ring. I think everybody is. You know, I think right place, right time.
Absolutely. I think right place, right time, right moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the season's coming up, so I'm like, oh, maybe some free time on the horizon.
Once you win, when she wins LFG Championship, bring her on.
I'm going to start up my room right now and just start doing push-ups.
She's doing push-ups. She's getting ready to go. I can't wait.
Are we going to see her back just like we taught Trish Stratus back, perhaps?
Dude, I hope so. Mickie James is phenomenal. I wanted to see her at the Rumble. Listen, throw her in the new Mania match with Io and Bianca, and it would sell way better if you ask me.
Oh, my gosh. All right. We're going to get to that and flip the script coming up in about 15 minutes. But check out the Gabby AF podcast wherever you get your podcast. And we are thrilled that she's a part of our team.
And on YouTube.
Here at The Last Word. And on YouTube. To me, if you don't have video, I don't understand anybody starting a podcast without video. To me, it's the dumbest thing in the world.
Especially if you got Mickie James. She's stunningly beautiful. If you're not putting her on video, what are you doing with yourself?
That's what I'm talking about. I say the same thing about me and Tommy every single week. You know what I mean?
I'm only here because you guys are so handsome. I'm here. I'm the brain. You guys are the looks.
Tom, we know it's complete BS. That's complete BS right now. Every person in the chat right now is going, that's not happening. By the way, if you want your voice to be heard, you can do it via super chat, super sticker. Let us know. And I would love somebody in the chat says, Coach, you can be a part of Rock's group. I would kill it as a heel in the new Rock group. Absolutely kill it. But we've got some things to get off our chest tonight. So it's time, as always, one of my favorite segments. It's time to go to promo school. You know, all those young kids on that new A&E show better have been watching the show tonight because CM Punk proved there are hashtag levels to this game. One of the great promos that I've ever seen on live television. Gabby, who are you cutting a promo on tonight?
Clearly, I'm cutting my promo on CM effing Punk because that start of him on the mic tonight on Raw might have been one of the greatest starts to Raw that I have ever witnessed watching on my couch. I don't think I've ever been more hyped up about anything. I don't think I've ever been so fired up. CM Punk, when he is going scathing on the microphone, calling out every single person, calling The Rock a bald fraud, calling Cena a bald fraud, calling Becky Lynch to come get her man, Seth Rollins. Are you kidding me? He is so babyface calling out these people. You cannot love anyone more than CM Punk. I was so dialed in. I didn't give a crap that Cena, Cody, Rock weren't even on my screen at that moment because all I cared about were the words coming out of CM Punk's mouth and the emotion that he was bringing. And honestly, Rollins coming out in the brawl, usually I hate that. I loved it because what he was saying should make Rollins want to tear his skin off of him. And it did. And I love that you saw them kept feuding backstage, everything. CM Punk, I've never been so into in my entire life. I want that man to beat the crap out of every single person that's put in his way. And this is one of the greatest promos from Punk I've ever seen in my entire life and one of the best starts to Raw ever. That is how you do it.
And I don't think it's close. I don't think it's close. I don't think he's ever been better than he was tonight. That was that. And to cut that on live TV, just to think about all he had to remember and the way they shot it, not being like standing right in the middle of the ring, right in front of that camera. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely
But he
amazing.
makes you feel like he's just saying it. That's why it's so good. You're like, everything he
100%.
has to remember, he just seems like, oh, who do you guys want me to talk about tonight? Okay, cool. And Pat McAfee's like, oh, The Rock. And he's like, okay, cool. Just annihilates them. And you could just tell it's him talking. Even if he did write something down, you have no idea. It's not like he's reading from a teleprompter. He didn't write down a script. He is just angry and he's pissed and he's on the side of the fans. So there's no way not to love him. He's just so freaking good. I just want to see him murder everybody.
I was always taught that when there's a little bit of truth to a really good promo, that's when it's the best. There's a lot of truth to that promo tonight. Not everybody likes the fact that Cena and Rock and those guys come back at WrestleMania season. Let's just be honest about it. They don't like it, but they have to deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now, a man who's a part of the BTT family, but he has other things to do on Monday nights, but he was fired up tonight as well because there was no Rock, no Cena, no Cody. And apparently he didn't like what they did with Seth and CM Punk. It's time for Russo's rant. Producer man.
Yo, this is Vince Russo with my rant of the week on Monday Night Raw, and I really want to give Raw credit, man. They opened the show hot with a pipe bomb from CM Punk, and then they went to Seth Rollins, and then they went to a brawl. Now, me personally, I would have had them brawling the entire 2.5 hours, different locations, outside, in the river, in somebody's backyard. I would have had them going at it, but my biggest beef is this. Bro, where are the three main players? Arguably one of the biggest angles in the history of the company. No Cody Rhodes, no Rock, no John Cena, no sense of urgency. Come on, guys, commit to the bit. Where are you? Did you have something more important to do tonight? Give me a break. Vince Russo out.
My man, Vince Russo. By the way, one thing I forgot to mention, if you become a premium member here at BTT, you get a star next to your name, and then we will read your comments and the good ones. Abass is a premium member. Thank you very much. Punk versus Rollins. And maybe Reigns will close out night one of WrestleMania. So that begs the question, Tommy, if we see Punk and Rollins next week in a steel cage. And I agree with Russo tonight. Where are the stars? Are we going to see those two again at WrestleMania at the end of April?
I don't know who would want to see it, Coach. And by the way, can you imagine back in the day, Vince Russo writing the show? They did all these pipe bombs on Elimination Chamber. Then he tells the chairman on Monday, "Oh, there's not going to be any Cody. There's not going to be any Rock. There's not going to be any Cena." Can you imagine the reaction you would get from him? And you're absolutely right. They're giving you Cena, Seth next week in a cage because it's at Madison Square Garden and it's nowhere else. I don't think it would happen anywhere else besides the Garden. And then 6 weeks later, you're going to give us the same match. How do you do that? I don't get it at all. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope Roman's involved. Drew's got to be involved. Somebody has to be involved for us to take interest in that match.
I could have swore you just said that I don't get it. You are so good for 25 minutes, Tommy. So good for 25 minutes.
He did say not to say it.
I know. It's okay. I've marked it down. I've marked it down.
Right.
Gabby, 30 seconds because we got to get to Tommy's rant.
I love Tommy.
Are we going to see you're not going to see a cage match and then at WrestleMania see this? There's got to be a variation of this if we're going to carry this through the next 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah, I think there has to be a distraction, and I think someone has to get involved, like Tommy said. I think I wouldn't be mad if Drew got involved. I wouldn't have been if Roman comes back. But don't give me a phenomenal cage match, a win or clean finish. I'm not going to want to see that ever again. You can't make me want to see these guys kill each other, and then you give me a good match, and that's it, and that's over with, because guess what? Now I'm done, and I'm over it. You got to keep me hooked for the next 6 weeks. So I have faith that they can do it. I just we got to see if there's a payoff for it.
Absolutely right. By the way, Jeezy Keezy, he's a premium member. He said Cena decided to go to Africa to shoot another film. I don't know where he's at. I've heard it was Hungary. It might be Africa. All we know is he wasn't there tonight. He wasn't there tonight.
Let's see how good that film does, too. You know?
Yeah, I know that's right.
Didn't see him at the Oscars last night. I'm just saying. But Batista was there.
Was he like down to 190 pounds now or something like that? 180 pounds? Yeah, he's lost a ton of weight.
Just saying, if you're talking best wrestling actor, it's not Cena.
Can I flow? You're just like jabberjaw over there.
Sorry, I'm angry at Cena.
We've got a huge live audience right now. Thank you all who are watching on social media, on YouTube. Not even our stadium audience. It's absolutely crazy. Producer man just told me how many people are watching. Thank you very much, and thank you to the premium members. All right, Tommy, I know something happened tonight. It involved no shoes, a interview. I don't know what else. What are you ranting on tonight?
Coach, as good as Cena, as good as Punk was tonight, we start out with the opening shot backstage with Kathy Kelly and Jey Uso, and you were a backstage announcer for a long time. When you're bigger than somebody else, you got to spread your legs, make sure you're smaller. First shot, we see her in these white socks. We see Kathy Kelly in white socks in her beautiful outfit, and she comes up to Jey Uso, and she asks him the same question she asked him a week ago. And Jey gives the answer. Why are people doubting me? I'm starting to doubt myself. In 6 weeks, how are we going to ramp up this Gunther Jey Uso storyline? Because it has no interest at all. Is it going to get buried like last year's storyline with the end of the story? Now we have Rock, Cena, heel. Is Gunther and Jey ever going to be relevant in the next 6 weeks? Please tell me. And they're making Jey sound like the little engine they can't. I'm starting to question myself. I don't like the way they're going about it with Jey Uso. He earned it at Rumble. He should be confident like he always is. And they're not showing that side of him. So I guess when he does win at WrestleMania, like the people are not going to go nuts anyway, Coach, and say, ye, it's so over the top right now. That's it. Right then and there. Can we please ramp up this storyline somehow?
Somehow. You know they're going down the Kofi lane right now. That's what they're doing. They, Kofi in the shadows of New York City, climb the mountain. Jey Uso always attack.
How about that? Yeah.
And that's what they're doing. They're not veer off. One thing they will do is they will stay attached to a storyline until it dies. And this one, they have nowhere else to go. So they got to stick to it and piss you off in the process. Speaking of being pissed off, Oh, on the other side, my goodness. Gabby was fired up about the guys. She's even more fired up about the ladies and what happened at the end of Monday Night Raw. How would we flip the script? We're going to do that as we cross the bottom of the hour. We're having a great time. As always, this is the last word. And however you are watching, I do not care. Thank you for being here. We are live, as always, on Stadium. Come on back.
Oh, he's turning heel! Cena turning heel! Holy shit!
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my. No. No way.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God! What the fuck? What? What the fuck? Oh my God!
All right. Was that as smooth as it felt right there? Intern Dan putting that together for us. Look at intern Dan stepping up. Gabby, I think he's trying to impress you, to be honest with you.
Well,
That's what I think it is.
That was a good start.
Great start. And I saw so many of those. I don't know how to do that editing where you put yourself on the top of the screen and then the video on the other. But I saw so many of those, didn't you, Gabby? Where people were like blown away at what they saw, whether it was in the arena or at home.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like when I'm really shocked, I don't whip out my phone sometimes to like record it, but people seem to be doing very well by doing that. So maybe I should just start recording myself all the time.
That's what the great ones do.
Honestly, though, I would get canceled everywhere because I curse a lot when I'm like excited or angry.
Not you.
We never noticed.
Yeah,
we never noticed.
I would get no one would use any of my stuff. They'd be like, "Who is this trash bag?"
I have to turn off my phone every time we go live on Stadium because the bosses call me so often.
I've
Gabby
been so
did it
good,
again.
Coach. I've been
She's
so
been
good.
She's good tonight.
I had to negotiate in. I swear to God, I had to negotiate in a certain number of swear words for Gabby on Stadium with the executives.
And I hit them every time, and it makes it a better story.
It's one way of looking at it.
Yep.
GST, he's a premium member. He says, if I recall correctly, Hulk Hogan didn't show up on Nitro for 2 weeks after the heel turn in '96. Now, GST, I don't remember. I was like in college at that point. You might be right. I don't know. But it ain't 1996. We're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is the last word live on Stadium. We have crossed the bottom of the hour just after 11:30 in the East, 8:30 out here in the West. What a night on Monday Night Raw. Some liked it, some didn't. Still feeling the effects from what perhaps is one of the great heel turns in the history of the business. In fact, I was thinking, what are some of the best heel turns of all time? Producer man, can you help me out with that? All right, it's time to flip the script. And producer man, I'm looking at you. Do we not have a heel turn video? Yes, we do. All right, so here's what we're going to do right now because we're going to flip the script. I'm going to show you guys some of the great heel turns in the history of the business and see if you remember all of them. Roll tape.
Oh, he's turning heel! Cena turning heel! Holy shit!
Was smooth. All right, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go into this. Hey, sometimes tech doesn't work. It doesn't work. We'll run it another time. So tonight at the end of Monday Night Raw, the women, and I thought it was ridiculous, to be honest with you, Gabby, on Saturday when Bianca Belair wins, she backs up, and you got to trust that the other talent's going to be there. She did that whole look back thing, and I'm like, Bianca, she's coming. Let her come and just celebrate. She's not going to crack you from behind. So that was the first thing I didn't like. Second thing was out comes Io Sky, and I'm like, why in the world would they bring her out to be a part of this stare down when there's no universe that she would win Monday in Buffalo? Until she did. She's the new women's champion. As of this moment, it will be Io Sky and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania. It screams selling tickets. Your take.
So here's the thing, Coach. I told you this before we started the show. The minute they came out and they did the intros for this main event, I texted my friend and I said, I have a bad feeling, and I think that Rhea's dropping a title tonight. And he said, Gabby, you're crazy. I said, no, I know things, and I read energies, and I was right because guess what, Coach? I'm always right. And that's exactly what happened. And I couldn't be more angry because here's the thing. I think the shock and surprise of Cena, blah, blah, blah. They're living in this amazing world of let's just keep shocking the people because that's what we're going to do now, right? Let's shock them again. Let's see if we can get them again. Let's spoil them with a nice shocking thing to happen. I'm going to say shock as much as I can. And that's what they did. It was completely unnecessary because, in my opinion, you have Io come out. Io is a phenomenal wrestler. Do not get me wrong, and I'm not talking bad about her because she is amazing in the ring, and that match between her and Rhea was awesome. But you cannot tell me that Io Bianca puts asses in seats more than Rhea Bianca. Rhea came out tonight and they were chanting mommy. The effect of her aura, everything about her is so over. I know you're not sold on her doing promos. It doesn't even matter because of what she looks like and how much the crowd is into her. So they can make it up to me by making sure that there's a rematch where she wins it back so that she's at Mania against Bianca, or there's a triple threat match where I see all three of them because I wouldn't hate it. But I think they got a little too excited. It was the Raw after, and they decided to be like, you know what? We're not going to have any of the guys show up from the chamber. Randy Orton, where were you? I don't know. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to do something with the women to get you excited and say, we were paying attention and, we want to shock you some more and keep you into it. That's exactly what they did it for. And I don't see it being Io Bianca as a main event in WrestleMania because I do not see that selling. Doesn't mean they're not good wrestlers because they're phenomenal, but I'm sorry, that's just business. And that's what's true for business is you need Rhea. You need her. I don't know what that was about. And why was Bianca there?
Gabi. We only need Rhea. I can't even, Tommy, I can't even. That was my Rhea impersonation with the really long words.
That was like Valley Girl. That was bad.
Words.
Valley Girl.
That was a Valley Girl. Tommy.
By the way, I saw some people tonight say it, and Abass, premium member, said it. Probably this will turn into some type of a triple threat. But who will be the third person, Tommy? Is it going to be Rhea, or will it somehow be Becky Lynch coming back and saving WrestleMania Night 2? We kick it off with this match. Think about it. It's knocking Gabby out right now.
This is the only thing that's opening the door for Becky for me right now is to have Io win tonight, and somewhere down the road, Becky comes back and they make that a triple threat or what? Because really, and like Gabby said, there's no star power here. When you tell me we're going to have Io Bianca instead of Rhea Bianca, I'm like, are you kidding me? That's just bananas. And they don't do things just to do things. So there's reasons why things are being done, and that just opens the door just a little more to bring Becky back in the conversation because as of right now, nobody's talking about Becky. So you could see that happening. And that's the only thing I could see happening. There is no way, and I'll go nuts if it happens, that it's going to be Io and Bianca at WrestleMania and not Rhea at all.
Let me educate you guys just a little bit. Am I bothering you, Gabby?
I just know what you're going to say, but say it, please.
The bottom line is this. You need to think about business. You need to think about the world. And sometimes our minds stay in the United States. There is a big part of the world over there that's called Asia. And in Asia, they have billions of people. And so now that we're on Netflix, you can't just say the United States anymore because it's in 85% of this great world of ours, including a major part of Asia. So what they're doing is, whether you like it or not, they are placating and they're allowing that fan base to now have a champion in the WWE, so it will raise the viewership in that part of the world. It's 101, and I can't believe, with as smart as you two are, that I had to explain that to you.
They have Shohei Ohtani. Don't worry about it.
We're not talking about a pay-per-view, a PLE. We're not talking about that. This is WrestleMania, coach. I don't care. If this is, you know what I'm saying? This is the biggest stage of all. Rhea doesn't deserve to be there. Rhea doesn't deserve to be defending the title through the entire year of what she's done for that division, where she is literally right now the biggest star on that women's division. Yes, Charlotte just came back, but Charlotte was gone for a while. Rhea is the biggest star. That is who everybody knows. That is what I believe the Raw roster of women is centered around, is Rhea Ripley. So you can't tell me I don't care. I don't care what you're saying about Asia. It doesn't mean I'm not in that way, but I'm just saying this is WrestleMania. Okay,
Gabby?
then have Io win the chamber and go against Rhea. But to beat her, to go into it, to headline it with Bianca for that, when it's WrestleMania, then you're really telling me you don't care about the women's division at all. And I don't think that's what you're saying to me, coach. But
No, I'm not. But you know the one word that I hate more than anything when you talk about wrestling, not you, when people talk about wrestling, deserve. And you just use that word.
Yeah.
The WrestleMania is not a little league game. It's not a participation trophy game. You don't deserve anything. Whatever the best storylines and best stories get onto the WrestleMania card, which is why I hate the fact that it's 2 nights. I want it to be harder to participate in WrestleMania because everybody believes what you just said. I put in my 11 months. I traveled all over the world. I deserve to have a match at WrestleMania. And that's not how it works. It's whoever has the best storylines. Tommy, am I wrong or am I right?
No, it's all about storylines. We've been talking about that for years, right? So it's all about the storyline. So tell me the storyline we're going to do with Io and Bianca. Can somebody please tell me that?
Gabby, can you create a storyline for us that makes sense?
No, because I don't even know a lot about Io to begin with, because I don't even know
know.
her storyline of being there, to be quite honest. So you can't, if I'm not invested in one of the wrestlers, I can't be invested into the storyline.
That's true.
Hands down. And the Bianca Rhea story writes itself because they have so much history together, coming up in NXT together. They never got that WrestleMania match against the two of them. And that story literally writes itself. I've said that already, and that's what it is. Io, you're going to build that for me now, and Rhea's just going to sit there and take it? Get out of here. And by the way, if Becky does come back, that would piss me off even more.
Because you think she'll walk in after being out for over a year and take a WrestleMania spot.
Right.
Okay.
And listen, she's a star. She's a megastar. We need Becky Lynch back, but I do think we need Rhea. And what's the point of building these stars, which Rhea is, if we're not going to have the outcome of it, of being a star? She hasn't even scratched the surface.
I gotta read a comment from the chat.
Okay,
there are plenty of
plenty
of people at their jobs 20 years and don't deserve to be management. Gabby, I'm giving you a hard time, but I agree with Mike. What do you say?
Everyone agrees with me because everyone's chanting "mommy" in every match that she's in. Everybody agrees with me.
So here's here's the other problem. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I just like messing with you. I'm not saying that you're wrong. And Mike, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. We love you too.
Love you.
So this is the best version of Gabby, Tommy, right? I just like to get out of the way. The one thing that people in who come here, we try to educate to. We like to have a good fun time. We laugh. But the bottom line is this, that for us to care about any superstar, you have to be able to connect with them. And with all kidding aside, because I had a hardcore run. Tommy, you remember this. Me and Tajiri, we had a rivalry. I beat him on pay-per-view. 1, 2, 3, clean.
Mm-hmm.
But the crowd never really connected with Tajiri because when you come over to this country and you can't cut promos that they can understand, and Io, God bless her, she can speak English, but it's certainly not her first language and she's not fluent in it. And so it doesn't help the connection with the superstar when you can't cut a promo like CM Punk did tonight to make the crowd believe in you. And that's a big issue. It really, really is. Anybody want the last take on this? We got about 45 seconds.
Why is she so believable now, though, Coach? Like you're saying, I don't believe she's that believable and has the star power to carry this.
I agree with that.
You know what I mean? So why are they going there? The only reason why I could think about it is opening the door for Becky and trying to get her in there somehow. Because if Rhea wins tonight, right? She goes on to face Bianca. Where does that leave Becky? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But when you have Io go over, now it's a little bit of a different story because people are going to start thinking about that again.
Gabby, I'll give you 20 seconds.
See, I completely disagree with that. I think if you have Rhea Bianca at WrestleMania and the music hits after someone wins and Becky walks out, she's getting that reaction no matter what. And you build that story around the fact that Becky Lynch is back and she's had history with both of them. So you can make any storyline with Becky and these two women. I don't remember Becky and Io interacting at all. So like that doesn't make any sense to me and I'm not sold on it whatsoever. And I'm going to want Becky to win because who is Io in comparison to Becky? It's apples and oranges.
All right, on the other side, somebody else we forgot about. It's the last word live on Stadium. All right, speaking of superstars that just didn't show up tonight, Tommy, we become really big fans here at the last word of Braun Breaker. And I don't know why they don't feature him more than they do, but tonight, and it was like, where is he at? Along with so many others.
Coach, that's the question of the last 3 weeks. We saw him with AJ backstage with a cowboy hat. We saw him backstage again. And again, he came out while Finn was cutting a promo and he was on for like maybe 3 minutes. This is your Intercontinental Champion. He's a young superstar. He's a stud. Why is he not written into the show? Why isn't there a program for him and somebody else to go at it at WrestleMania with the Intercontinental Championship? Is it going to be Finn? I don't know. But we have maybe 5 minutes in 3 weeks. We have seen Braun on Raw.
And he hasn't looked great, Gabby, because it's such a short period of time. They try to make it so impactful all the time instead of showing that he can do a 20-minute match also, correct?
Oh yeah, and I think the biggest thing about Braun is he does that really, really quick off the ropes spear onto people, and it hits them really, really hard, and that's become like his thing. But now it's almost gimmicky in the sense of like if we don't see it, are we going to be entertained because everyone's looking for it, everyone's cashing out for it, like maxing out because it is so cool to see, and he's so quick for a big guy, but he can also go in the ring for a long time. So I want to see him do more for sure. I'm very sold on Braun. I like him a lot.
And Mike in the chat actually brings up a really good point. And this is what I was going to bring up is that when you have so many different storylines that are going on at the same time and you've got multiple shows, the writing staff has got to be way more detail oriented because right now they're leaving a lot of things on the cutting room floor that need to be addressed. And when you write guys out and write ladies out and you forget, oh yeah, Jade Cargill, she got beat up 3 months ago, and then it becomes an issue. It becomes an issue. And right now, when you hire 22-year-old kids coming out of college that have never written a thing in their lives, they're just excited to be there and scared to death. They've got to start keeping track of stuff because it's falling through the cracks.
Coach,
time.
Quickly, what is the most...
No, we're back live in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is the last word here live on Stadium and on social and on our YouTube page. And it is time, and we still have plenty to talk about for the last word. All right, so Saturday night, a lot of people thought that KO and Sami Zayn stole the show. But Gabby, I'm going to start with you on this one because once again, Randy Orton, who had been gone for a minute, he comes out, looks fantastic. Nobody talked about him. He did not get his quote unquote stuff in. And then tonight, no Randy Orton. How do you miss on that one?
Oh, everyone knows Randy Orton's my number one. I love that man. I think he is killer. And I was waiting for his return. We talked about it last week. I was like, well, what about Randy Orton? When is he coming back? Finally, he makes his return back, and it's overshadowed for a second time. The first time it was the return of CM Punk. So, of course, we were excited to see Orton, but it was CM Punk coming back to the WWE. And now you had the Cena heel turn. So it's kind of like, oh, yeah, Orton's back. But did you see that Cena turn heel? And I was like, well, at least we'll probably see him on Raw. I'm still waiting. Are they showing it as an extra? Because I didn't see him anywhere on Raw. I think it was a total miss. If you're not going to have Cena and Cody and Rock, okay, whatever. But you can't have Randy Orton there to kind of, jumpstart him being back. He's a killer. He looks freaking insanely good. And he came out and beat the hell out of KO and a bunch of security guards, whatever. And now we're just going to have to wait and see when we hear from him. Like, come on. Throw him on Raw on Netflix 2 days later. Like, I want to see that man. He's the best.
I agree with you, but my where is it? Abas said, oh, there it is. Danny Boy says, is that intern Dan in the chat? That's intern Dan. Okay. Don't
Way to
forget,
get
guys.
yourself
Randy
over.
Orton's on SmackDown with Owens. Intern Dan, if you drive me crazy one more time with one of those things, that's what drives me nuts. Is I don't give a damn what show they're on. To Gabby's point, Tommy, this happened on Elimination
So
Chamber.
is Bianca.
Thank you.
She
It
was sitting
doesn't
there. It doesn't
matter.
matter.
It doesn't matter. And Tommy, you can't tell me that if Randy Orton would have come out tonight, the crowd would have been like, wait a second, isn't he on SmackDown? No, they would have popped like crazy and listened to what he had to say. But since KO and Sami Zayn weren't there, the writers probably thought, well, we can't bring him out because he was a part of that. He's bigger than that, and they need him. A big miss, Tommy, tonight.
Big miss. You didn't have Cena. You didn't have Rock. You didn't have Cody. You could have played up having Randy Orton do an entrance and say, hey, KO, you thought I was gone? You thought you knocked me out for good? Well, here's a little payback, and I'm coming after you, whether it's on Raw, SmackDown, a PLE, anywhere, but I'm coming after you. Cut a promo, gets the big pop, and it makes everybody happy, makes Gabby happy because she gets to see Randy Orton. But how do you have this man not show up tonight when you don't have three major stars show up after the biggest swerve of all time?
Premium member Jeezy says difference with Bianca is she's competing for Raw's title now. I guess if they want to make that argument, Gabby, you can.
Well, Cena wasn't there.
What's that?
Well, Cena wasn't there, and he won the chamber too. So that's the argument. I just don't see that as an argument because everyone flip flops all the time. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory showed up. We don't even know where they are half the time. They were on NXT last week. They were sitting in the front row. They were on NXT last week. You know what I'm saying? KO and Sami Zayn are always on Raw, even though one's on SmackDown. So like, you can't say that's why he wasn't there because no one's gonna sit there and be unhappy if Randy Orton shows up and talks. It's Randy Orton, and he's been gone for a long time. I'll see him anywhere. I don't care.
So let me ask this question.
Okay.
Did they steal the show Saturday night like so many people thought they did? Tommy, let me go first, and then Gabby, give me your thoughts.
Did who steal the show?
KO and Sami Zayn.
Oh, they stole the show up until the heel turn because that was a great match they had. They told a great story in the ring. And when you tell stories in the ring with all that stuff they were using in the ring, you know you did a great job. Then Orton came out, just put the cherry on top.
By the way, Tommy, did you know that Gabby has a sister?
No.
That apparently is named EEE? Because she's in the chat right now. She said, do y'all know that Gabby Laspisa means perfection? What are we doing, Tommy?
I think it's just pronounced E, like one long E.
E.
Oh, so it's E Laspisa. E Laspisa.
E.
I didn't know your entire family watched The Last Word every Monday night, but apparently they do.
Huge fans of you, Coach.
I'm sure they are. Gabby, the only thing I did not like, and Cole's my boy. Cole is my boy. Travel that I just pulled my best Stephen A. But he clearly was told. He clearly was told Saturday night, sell the fact that they're both trying to kill each other. And after about the 20th time of him going, stop it, Kevin, just stop it. They did this. We don't need. This was an unsanctioned match. We knew it was going to be brutal. I got so tired of him doing that. But I did love the match, though. Gabby?
I loved them. I like matches like that where it's pure emotion and they're not. It's not for a title. It's not for anything. They just want to beat the hell out of each other because it's fueled by hate for one another. That's kind of what it is like in real life, and it makes it more real. That's why I always say I don't care about a title match. I want to see Becky and Charlotte just beat the hell out of each other and take my money for it because that would be amazing. But that's neither here nor there because everything's about a title shot. But anyway, I thought it was amazing, and I think it was the perfect way to bring back Randy because Randy came in like a bat out of hell, and he just looked ripped and ridiculous.
He looks ripped, absolutely ripped.
That man, I'm sorry. Like, can we just talk about that? Even like, what? I want to know what that man is doing. That he looks as good as he does at that age. He's such a force to be reckoned with. His presence, just like even all the refs trying to hold him back, it's laughable. Like he will literally run right through you. You people are nuts.
20 years. He just by the time he's done with his new contract, he'll have been there over 25 years. Yeah. And I got to tell you, Gabby, that he was just a young pup when I was there with him the first time. I'm so proud of the person he's turned into, because if you would have known the Randy Orton circa 2002, 2003, I could tell you some stories that would blow your mind. And you're like, was he 12 at the time? Like, he acted like it.
Yeah.
And he's obviously grown up a lot since then, according to everybody.
Yeah.
To everybody. So I'm glad to see it, because it was not pretty 20 years ago at all. All right, we only got a couple of minutes left, so let's wrap things up as we head towards SmackDown and we head towards what's going to be Madison Square Garden. We've got a full month here, guys. So, Tommy, I'm going to start with you. Your final take on what you would like to see. Give me about 45 seconds is all heading into this month.
I want to see the payoff to Jade on. I hope that's one of the first things they talk about on SmackDown. I want to see them really ramp up this Gunther Jade deal to make me interested in it. And I'm interested to see in the weeks to come with Cena and the final boss and Cody, where are they going with this and how they're going to handle it.
Very good. Gabby, your look forward to the month of March.
You gotta get me I'm very concerned about this Bianca and Io match. So I'm wondering where they're gonna take us for this. And I'm looking forward to Rhea getting back into the picture because it's much needed. You need to build me a little bit more on Tiffany and Charlotte, but I do have hope that that match can really, really tear down the house and be a good one because it's Charlotte Flair. And I just think this whole thing with Cody, Cena, and The Rock, it's beautiful, but if The Rock wants to wrestle, I'm thinking we maybe get a tag match with The Rock and Cena. And you know who I want to see with Cody Rhodes, Coach?
Who?
Mr. Randy Orton. Come to the aid
at
of Cody
Mania?
Rhodes. Yes, I do. How about that?
So you'd have Orton